Good now, revolutionaries, and welcome to the Rise Up Morning Show. Today is Monday. We're talking about November 3rd. Can you believe it? We're already at the end of the year. Not the end, but the penultimate chapter of the book, the one before the end. People are shopping for Thanksgiving. People are buying Christmas presents already. Can you believe this? Absolutely unreal that we have gone this quickly through 2025. Seems like just yesterday we were talking about, will Bitcoin get an ETF? And now here we are. Everybody's got an ETF these days. If you have a crypto question, a suggestion, a good joke, a word of wisdom, then let me know. I would love to hear from you. It's your friend Evan Man. I'm flying solo today. So we're going to have a little bit of a news update, some question and answer. And if you've got something to share, then feel free to share it. I would love to hear from you. I see October is dead in the comments. Yes, indeed. The first October in several years that was net negative for a lot of our friendly crypto assets. Some people saying we are cooked. Oh, so sad. I hope you're not cooked. If you're feeling cooked, let me know. We are still here, and we certainly will be here every Monday through Thursday and all the other times that we stream to bring you the best helpful news, commentary, and occasionally some other fun stuff. Shout out to the Rocketeer who says, "Damn, Evan, you are crystal clear. New camera? Indeed." I do have to give gratitude to partners of the show, talking about the White Whale. Thank you for the studio upgrades. Arculus, Polygon, and excited to announce this week 2 new partners of the show. One of them is Unlock Protocol, and they are coming on tomorrow. Unlock is a Web3 done for you sort of solution. If you want to turn your group chat into a DAO, or you want to create a token for your friend group so that you can pool money and share investments, or you want to token gate an event and you maybe want to issue the tickets so that they can become collectible later, they have tokens that are programmed to help you do that. We're going to have Cece on the show tomorrow. I just cannot wait because I think it's one of those great solutions like POAP or like Marinade has been in the past, Carrot, where even if you're a level 1 crypto user, you can understand why this stuff matters. And if you're like a level 2 or 3 crypto user, you're like, oh yeah, how have I not heard about this? And how can I start using it? If you want to do your homework ahead of time for the episode tomorrow, then you can check out unlock-protocol.com. The website says smart contracts built specifically for memberships and subscription NFTs, but they do so much more than that. I cannot wait to tell you about it, and I cannot wait to help them tell a better story. This is the kind of thing that we get excited to talk about. In the comments, we've got, bro, turn on the heater. Evan, I don't think you've got enough layers on. For the people in podcast land, it's that time of year. I was telling the TikTok folks backstage when Memphis goes from being so hot I can't even wear a shirt to so cold because, my house doesn't have central heating and air. So whatever it's like outside is whatever it's like inside. Thank you very much. And inside right now, it's chilly. This Michigan boy is feeling it. I have not moved my heater in. I've moved some heaters in for Kimberly, so she's got some warmth. And the little kittens have some warmth, but your boy's still chilly. The market also cooled off. I'm just dressing in solidarity with your favorite altcoins and crypto assets, right? Somebody had to make the donuts. Somebody had to do the work. Ethicalish says, I ain't cool being no jive turkey this close to Thanksgiving. Let me know what your plans are for the market, for your crypto assets for the end of the year. We can talk about it. And if you've got a crypto question, of course, this is the place. The site, one more time, for our new sponsor coming online is unlock-protocol.com. And I'm going to put it in the recording on YouTube, in podcast land. It'll be in the description wherever you are, whenever you listen, so that you can catch it. And then later this week, we are also going to have on the show another new partner. And I'm going to tell you, should I tell you, do you guys want to know? I told the folks in office hours, and I was thinking I might save it for when Alex could be here to announce it with me. But you know what?
Come for him.
I think we can make it. I think we can make it and break the news without Alex.
Don't come for me.
Sorry, pal. On Wednesday, we are going to be joined by the final sponsor rounding out our roster for now. I am very excited to say that we have partnered with Goodnow. That is right. The liquid staking protocol on Solana. If you're not familiar with them, then the homework is going to be Goodnow, JITO.network. Okay. This is the leading provider of staking as a service on the Solana network. And what they do is they issue a JTO token that represents the interest accrued on Solana staked with validators that they select. So if you're familiar with Carrot, which we've talked about a lot on this show, DeFi Carrot, it's like a savings account, but make it crypto. So you take your Solana and you stake it through their platform with the validators they select. And the way they select their validators is very cool. That makes it sound like it's kind of a gatekept thing, but really it's like a competitive thing. They prompt validators to compete to earn this pool of SOL people are just staking through their platform. And so often get customers like us very good rates. That's their business model. And the JSOL token they give you, the JTO token, is a liquid stake SOL token, which means it is both the receipt for your Solana that you are staking with them, and it can also be used in all the ways that your Solana tokens can be used. So you can take that receipt token and go do other DeFi stuff with it to earn even more yield on your crypto if you want. Alex and Will and I are very excited about this because this is kind of a level 2 play. If you staked with Marinade, it's not going to be new or unfamiliar to you. And it's going to be a way that you can start to put your crypto to work. If you are a long-term holder of something like Solana or something like ETH that can be staked, then liquid staking is a great thing to learn because it can help you start to extend the abilities of your tokens to other places. So the homework for this one is Goodnow, JITO.network. Someone help me out. Throw it in the comments. I would love to see you there. We're talking with Andrew from Goodnow Wednesday, and we're talking with CC, who is a member of Unlock Protocol, tomorrow. The cool thing about Unlock specifically is it's a DAO. It's not like a company. Goodnow is a company. Unlock is a DAO. So you can participate in this DAO, this decentralized autonomous organization, to help them market, to help them build cool products. Shout out to Jay Heath. Thank you very much. Got the link in the comments, and I will have the link in the description. And also, shout out to Bearded. Thank you very much. Goodnow.network. Also, Bearded with the protocol update for Carrot, DeFi Carrot, at an 8.09% interest rate today. So the JTO token, just like the Carrot token, it is a up and to the right token. If you look at its chart, it looks like it's always going up and to the right because the value reflects the value of SOL deposits on that platform and the interest accrued to them over time. So the longer it goes on and the more collective interest the Solana token staking there have earned, the more valuable that token becomes. It's a cool mechanic. We can talk about it more. I do want to share just a couple of other interesting news stories and updates because it's been an interesting week. The week leading up to Halloween, I mean, we have had a lot of different data points, a lot of different news. And I think it'll give context to the question of why is everything going so crazy? It's an unprecedented time in crypto, that's for sure. So bear with me. Let's do some headlines. And then if you've got a specific question you want me to follow up on, we're here for it. Okay. The very first headline I wanted to share about today was the news that Sam Bankman-Fried, the former founder of FTX, the crypto exchange that collapsed a couple of years ago and took the whole market down with it, has been tweeting through a friend while they are in prison. Rumors are circulating that Sam Bankman-Fried is on the campaign trail, so to speak, to get a pardon, just like the founder of Binance, CZ, did. Okay? And this is how it's going. Last week, all the tweets begin like this: SBF says, in parentheses, and then they say what they want to say. This is where the money went. And he posts a Google Drive and an image picture of just a little infographic that explains where all the FTX money went. And the claim that SBF is making, Sam Bankman-Fried is making here, is that at the time they declared bankruptcy and now, FTX neither was nor is insolvent, insinuating that this is some kind of witch hunt. Now, shout out to a friend of the show, David Morris, fellow member of Epoch 9 over at Octant. He wrote the book, literally wrote the book on the FTX collapse, and came in with this really helpful update. And he said, hey, this is an old defense. Sam Bankman-Fried's mother, his lawyer, everybody has made this argument before, and Sam Bankman-Fried was found guilty in court no matter what. Like, along these lines, the jury still convicted him. So it seems like just old news in a new package. Arguments he made at trial, where he was convicted, and now allies are lobbying for a presidential pardon. So you got to trot out the arguments again. Wow, interesting. Stephanie in the comments says, I actually went to the trial and met him. What was your impression of him? And what was the capacity in which you got to go to the trial? I would be really curious to know. And thank you for the comment. Mike says, if you gamble funds that aren't yours and your bet hits. And your bet hits. That's not a valid excuse. That's fair. I called him, Stephanie says, the rock star reporter. Oh my goodness. And as long as we're doing a little rapid fire news, since we've got Mike here, let me give a special shout out to our friend Mike in the comments. He is building all the time. And if you want to see what he's up to, then you should give him a follow over on Twitter at MYK Crypto Dev, or just search myk.eth. Okay. He's working on stuff over at base, but he's also working on stuff behind the scenes at the house or wherever he happens to be. He's coded up wish list. I have not seen this yet, Mike. I accept the videos that you've put out. My understanding is it looks like an easy way to see what your friends want for Christmas and to share with your friends what you want for Christmas. I don't know what the on-chain integration is. I haven't even clicked into it yet. I just know that if Mike is building it, it's probably something you need to check out. You want to be early too. Looks like a Farcaster mini app. And when I click the link, it takes me to... yes, indeed. Farcaster mini app. So you might need a Farcaster account to play with this thing, but I'm going to give it a little test drive later, create a wish list, let you know what I think. Shout out, Mike. Good to see you always, my friend. Continuing on with a couple of news bits, but interrupted by a question. To acknowledge all the listeners who make this show possible. This show is made possible in part by our sponsors and partners, but totally the best part is you, all of you. Yes, you, the people listening to this show. So I'm going to defer the rest of the news for this question. Hey, Zach says, are the Bitcoin miners, mini miners, real? Seriously asking. Well, first of all, Zach, hey yourself. Thanks for listening to the show. Can you give me some more specific information, what you mean about Bitcoin mini miners? Do you mean like solo miners? Let's talk about how Bitcoin mining works. So when Bitcoin mining started, pretty much anybody anywhere who had a computer that could run the Bitcoin code, this particular program that allowed you to record a copy of transactions and have your own Bitcoin ledger and also mine blocks by participating basically in a random number guessing game. At the start of the Bitcoin protocol, a lot of computers and different machines could do this because it wasn't very energy intensive. It wasn't a difficult thing to do. The algorithm that disseminates this guessing game, it adjusts itself It adjusts the difficulty of the game based on how many people it senses are playing. So now that we've got all these like supercomputers and server farms that are mining Bitcoin, the algorithm has this like insane random number that you got to guess. And it's very difficult for individual computer operators or people mining on like a phone or a Raspberry Pi or something like that to actually mine a Bitcoin block by guessing the number successfully and getting the Bitcoin reward. But solo miners do occasionally get to mine blocks. If you wanted to see this, you would go to a website like the mempool. And there are different ways to see the Bitcoin mempool. The mempool.space is one that I like. And I'm trying to remember which is the one that has the last block mined by visualizer. That's this one, mempool.space. Okay. Friends in podcast land, you're going to want to see the screen share for this one. I am looking at mempool, mempool.space. This is a Bitcoin blockchain explorer. And along the top of this website, one of the things that it shows is who earned the right to mine the last block, okay? These blocks in green to the left of this line have already been mined. They have been added to the blockchain. There's just a list of transactions. You can click into these, in fact, and it will show you, oh, the website's moving slow. It'll show you all the different things that block was composed of, all the information that was sent in that transaction when it processed. It's just a really cool way to look at a blockchain explorer. And you can also see which company, entity, whatever, mined that block. Oh, excuse me. The ones on the left are the ones yet to be processed, and the ones on the right are the ones that have already processed. My apologies. Strike that, reverse it. I'm so used to looking at my screen in mirroring mode and speaking backwards, and sometimes I get it, sometimes I don't. So here we go. This one was mined by Via BTC. This one was mined by Foundry USA. This one was mined by Lucky Pool. Foundry USA is one of the more common names you'll see. I believe they're located in Texas, and they have a ton of different Bitcoin mining computers. And they win a lot of blocks. As you might imagine, if you're not using a supercomputer to do this like number guessing game, you're not really very competitive. But I did see a report at the end of October that one solo miner struck gold. He got $347,000 at the time the block was added. That was the Bitcoin block reward value. Many in the Bitcoin community call this the Bitcoin mining lottery, where a miner has a solo pool and gets to process a block. I don't see, as I'm looking for it, what infrastructure he has, like what his computer setup is, if he's got a Raspberry Pi or anything like that. Doesn't say a solo block has been mined, total sovereignty. At any rate, it's an increasingly rare event, and most people who want to get into Bitcoin mining because they think they're going to earn passive income, it just doesn't work like that. If you want passive income through crypto, it'd be better to do staking or lending or something like that. So let me take a look back at Zach's comments. He says, there are people running ads that the computers they're selling will solve a whole 3x something or nothing every 10 minutes. That's what they're selling. No, Zach, listen to me, Zach. Anybody who is guaranteeing you a return on investment from selling you a device is trying to scam you. Or at the very least, they're being dishonest about their marketing, selling you something that seems a little too good to be true. Now, you can borrow hash rate on a mining rig. This is like lending the right to claim part of the Bitcoin reward. If I'm a Bitcoin miner and I want to like outsource to people, or people want to buy the hash rate for other purposes for security, then if a miner they are buying hash power from, gets a block, then they will distribute rewards with people who bought the hash power. So that's different. If they're saying it's a lottery, like I said, thanks for the clarification, Zach. If they're saying it's a lottery, like I said, then absolutely. I will tell you this. The people who sell legitimate mining machines, there's probably a big wait. They're probably more expensive. You can build a Bitcoin node yourself, or you can buy one. I would search to buy a Bitcoin node. And actually, you know who I would ask? I'm gonna see who's operating still. Out of the box node where I can buy a node. I would check out Perk Insights here on TikTok. That's our friend of the show, Erica. Erica Perkin is sharing Bitcoin knowledge that is needed. She's talking about operating her own node, setting one up, what it's like, the process. She's gone to a Bitcoin ATM. She's done a lot of very good Bitcoin specific educational content. So I recommend checking that out. And I also recommend the process of like just setting up your own node. Buying one of these out of the box, there are some reputable companies that do it. Nodl, Nodl is one. I think there's Casa Node. My Node is one that people have used before, but they can be expensive. They're like computers that are specifically designed to just do this. But you could get a Raspberry Pi. Google that if you've never heard that term before. Or you could even set up like an old laptop to do this for you. And it would almost certainly be cheaper using that and a tutorial from bitcoin.org, tutorial you find on YouTube, or a tutorial we can help connect you with in the Rise Up community, okay? If you're not there yet, Zach, and everybody listening, then I want you, as you're endeavoring to learn this stuff, to check out community.rumshq.com. It's totally free to join. Don't have to pay a thing. And we can help you. If you've got questions about crypto, you just want to hang out with more crypto users, right? You want to see if something is a scam. That is where the show lives 24/7. I often say, because it's true, the only thing missing is you. That's community.rumshq.com. I would absolutely love to see you there. Let me make sure. Asks, do you recommend staking on Ledger or Trezor? I want to do it with my stablecoin. Hey, great question. Thank you so much. If you have never done this before, let me know. Let me know if this is your very first time staking anything at all or lending anything at all, trying to earn yield in your crypto. That would be really helpful. And then we'll talk about how you might go about doing it. The thing to understand here is that staking can be done from any self-custody wallet, a wallet where you hold the seed phrase and the private keys. Not Coinbase, not Kraken, not Revolut, not Robinhood. Some of these companies have like self-custody wallet products. For example, Robinhood has their Robinhood DeFi wallet. Crypto.com has the Crypto.com DeFi wallet. Coinbase has the Coinbase wallet, now transitioning to be called the Base app. And these are all different self-custody experiences. Your Ledger, your Trezor, your cold storage wallet is a self-custody wallet. You own the private keys. You can therefore take your crypto account anywhere and do whatever you want with it. Okay? So yes, technically you can stake from your cold wallet. I recommend that if you are going to stake from your cold wallet and you are also using that cold wallet to store your long-term hold them forever assets, that you consider getting a second device that you don't connect to websites to stake, to lend. And that's the other point of clarification I want to give you. USDC as an asset cannot be staked. Sometimes people say staking to mean I want to earn passive income on my crypto by locking it up somewhere. And I know what you're saying, but I just want to clarify for you that technically staking is a particular kind of locking up that can only be done with assets that are like the coin for a proof of stake blockchain network, like ETH, like Solana. Even though Solana isn't exactly proof of stake, they use a certain type of staking. This is like an infrastructural thing. This is like paying your taxes or like investing in a city and getting a share of like the revenue produced in that city. That's kind of like what staking is. It is reallocating resources the network actually uses to do a job, to secure the network, to process transactions, and to get a reward for that. It is one type of passive income earning activity that we might call DeFi. What you're going to do with your USDC is almost certainly lending, meaning you will make it available for someone to borrow and pay you interest. You might be doing this through Aave. You might be doing this through Morpho. You might be doing this through a variety of protocols. You can do it from your cold storage wallet. But like I say, if you're primarily using cold storage because you want to keep your assets safe, then it doesn't make sense for you. It makes sense for you to get a second device. Because one of the things that'll make your cold storage wallet safe is that you keep the private key offline and you don't connect it to a bunch of random crypto protocols. It is not necessarily more secure than using a hot wallet. If you are taking it around and plugging it into Goodnow and you're plugging it into Aave and you're plugging it into this website and you're plugging it into that website, you're connecting it. You will be signing transactions to temporarily reassign assets from your cold storage wallet to those platforms if you want to lend them, if you want to stake them, if you want to do those things. So I recommend whatever you're holding for the long term, whatever you want to keep super safe, what you don't want people to touch, that you keep on a separate cold storage device or a separate wallet within your cold storage device. Some cold storage devices allow you to create multiple wallets on a single device with separate private keys. And this can be a safe way to manage like a hold forever bucket of assets and a use for DeFi bucket of assets. But I still recommend a separate device because a lot of the interfaces you interact with, you know, they're all like, hey, do you want to connect your Ledger device to this website? Which wallets do you want to use? You could click the wrong one. You could make a mistake and give permission to your assets and they'd be gone. The goal with cold storage is just to create barriers, insulation, if you will, between bad guys and your assets. Okay. Great question. Thank you for asking. I hope that helps. Aquilas, good to see you. Wanted to know, Evan, a lot of people are giving up on crypto. Why? And I am Ray Todd said, did the market crash? Need help with heating bills? Yeah. Good joke there, Ray Todd.
I am a big fan of this.
The market, it's doing fine. But perspective is a hell of a thing. I saw somebody post a meme that said Bitcoin at $107,000 30 days ago. And it was like a beautiful, glamorous woman on the red Hollywood carpet. And then it said Bitcoin at $107,000 now. And it was like a picture of the same woman, but like just woken up, direct flash, like no coffee, no makeup, a weird look on her face. You know, the point being, when we hit the new all-time high, when Bitcoin was over $100,000 for the first time, it felt great. It felt wonderful. But how things come and go so quickly here, right, my friends? Woo! It's just like Oz. And that's the important thing to pay attention to, is how it makes you feel. If you are, in fact, depending on money you have locked up in crypto for your heating bills, you may be playing this game a little riskily. Probably not how I would recommend you do it. I recommend that you take that, if that's how you feel, as a gut check. The market can go up, can go down, can go sideways. The question is not therefore to ask, what will it do next, but what will I do? Whether it goes up, whether it goes down, whether it goes sideways. It's me 23 says it, and it's correct. The boring times are the money-making times. And when people are fearful, historically, has been a good time to buy, especially Bitcoin. If you are somebody who is already thinking to yourself, oh my gosh, I've already bought so much crypto though, then maybe that's a signal that you should be, we say, de-risking. Waiting until there is a bit of green action on the chart to sell some of what you hold so that you don't feel so anxious when the price goes down. And if you're new, then hey, this is how things work here. I recommend everybody who's thinking about getting into crypto, especially as an investor, consider buying some Bitcoin, just a small amount, and watching it go up and down and seeing how that makes you feel. If it makes you nervous, then I really would just caution you. Crypto is different than any other asset than we've ever had in that regard. It's highly volatile. And you should know how that makes you feel. Excellent questions. Bearded says, crazy to think it's only 1% of crypto people who own one full Bitcoin token. It is crazy. I am surprised it's even that much, honestly. Whew. Makes you feel alive. And the interesting thing to remember is this is not a get-rich-quick scheme. This is not a buy it today, you'll be a bajillionaire tomorrow. This is more like buying land. Buying land is a good thing to do because it increases your net worth. It is an asset you can take out a loan against. If you need cash, you can use it. It's something you can pass on to your kids. It's something that can back up the credibility, your credit worthiness. It can do so much for you. And it does more than land, does more than gold. It's got more velocity. It's easier to move. It's just an idea, like a word, but with power. So, Amso says, good morning and happy Monday, kids. Good morning and happy Monday to you. I've got just a couple more interesting headlines that I'd like to share with you. And then, of course, your crypto questions. I'm going to wrap the show probably 15 minutes early today to get some extra work done. I have the opportunity to make a presentation about how to create on TikTok to a bunch of other creators. And then I got to go give some blood. My hemochromatosis. It's fighting me. I say that 5 times fast on a Monday morning. Okay. Here's something that people ask about a lot is how do you get early to a lot of crypto projects, right? How do you find the promising projects early? And then how do you participate? I would encourage you more and more to look for funding rounds. Coinbase recently bought a platform called Echo. This is a platform that makes it possible for anybody to participate in what's called an ICO or a Series A, B, C seed funding round. A lot of crypto companies are startups. And if you're not familiar with how startup investing works, usually what happens is when a company is looking for money, they will sell a percentage, we call this equity, of their company to investors for shares of their stock, or in the case of crypto companies, for tokens. So Echo was a platform that made it possible for people like us, not just accredited investors, not just, somebody who's registered as a compliant whatever business, an ICO crowdfunding platform, exactly Wall Street. Coinbase bought them recently, so you can expect that this will accelerate. And many crypto companies are investing in this, both like corporation crypto companies and also startups, to make it possible for you to invest in companies that are doing these ICOs before the tokens are available to the public. Usually, you are purchasing these tokens at a discount of the rate that they will debut at. Now, to be clear, to my communist and anarchist friends who are like, wait, you're telling me I'm going to buy these tokens cheap and then presumably dump them on the rest of the market? This is very PvP. This is like scarcity myth stuff. You're exactly right. Hopefully, though, you're funding a company that you believe in. But if all you want to do is make money, this is a good way to do it. MegaETH set some records this weekend. You've heard us talk about them on the show. They're a layer 2 building on top of Ethereum. MegaETH had a public sale, and it was a big time anticipated event. It was like a register to buy, commit to buy public sale. It started October 27th. It ended after 72 hours on October 30th. Over 53,000 people bid. A lot of these public sales require you to bid because remember, companies want to choose the people who invest in them who are going to stick around the longest, who are aligned with them. So not everybody who bid is going to be able to buy these tokens because they committed almost $1.5 billion. And MegaETH had a hard cap of 50 million. So almost 27 times more than it asked for was bid to buy these tokens because people have been hearing of it. This is what I want to impress upon you is this is not like some new company you haven't heard of. MegaETH has been making the rounds on crypto Twitter, doing publicity, investing in teams and products, has been a prominent name with some mind share in our space for the better part of the last year. So you've had time to learn about them and get to know them and feel confident about what they're building. They've raised money from other prominent venture capitalists. So this is a way to get in, this is why all these people bought it, because they're like, oh my God, I'm still early. And you can see how many people wanted to be early to this. It's hot. So now, and it says 10% of bidders placed the max bid of $186,000. 91% of those funds were placed in the unlocked option, while only 9% chose to lock their bids, meaning they would be willing to lock their tokens up, not sell them when they got them. They're going to be calculating and distributing refunds and distributions, because some people are going to get refunded, November 5th, later this week. And I mentioned Echo to say that they raised on Echo in December 2024. So if you've been paying attention a year ago, you could have bought this token on a platform like Echo that now everybody wants. That's a great way to make money in crypto. Something worth paying attention to, because it's something we'll see again. Now, if that segment went by you a little fast, you might catch the recording on YouTube or on your favorite podcasting platform. And if you're listening in podcast land, hello, I hope your candles are green. And then play it back. And then come to the community and ask your questions. Okay, Evan, what's that platform? How do I participate in crowd funds like this? And so on. And we'll go from there. Okay? That's a great way to learn. I saw there was a question just a bit back about Jupiter. So let me answer that after I tell you that if you are interested in participating on a platform like Echo, it is available for you at Echo, ECHO.xyz. Early stage investing in startups and tokens, Echo, ECHO.xyz. AMSO asks, didn't MegaETH have a lawsuit in 2020? Not that I'm aware of. I don't know that they've been building for that long. I think the first time I heard of MegaETH was 2023. Let's see. Lawsuits for MegaETH? Maybe we're thinking of something else. What a great name, right? Even Vitalik has raised for them. MegaETH, perhaps. The band. Let me know what you're thinking, AMSO. And let's go back to this question about a friend told me about lending on Jupiter. Staking on Jupiter? Should I do it? Jupiter is a great platform. I'm going to tell you all about it. jupe.sol is the address. Oh, excuse me, jupe.ag. Oh my gosh. You learn so many web addresses and then you just flub it live on air. Jupe, jup.ag, A-G. That's their website. And if you've never used a decentralized exchange before, this is going to look really foreign to you. But I recommend you get some practice on a website like Jupiter. Jupiter bases its user interface off a website called Uniswap, which is uniswap.org or app.uniswap.org. It's a very popular decentralized exchange, and it is the leading decentralized exchange. So usually Uniswap innovates a thing and then everybody else copies it, okay? Jupiter is one such example of where Uniswap's user interface has been copied and then expanded over time. They allow you to do swaps. That's what this tab market means. That means you are swapping two assets at the market price. You're selling one and buying another. Kind of confusing. If you're thinking, I just want to switch one crypto for another, and it's like, well, whoa, buy? Wait, sell? What? No, this is effectively a swap. In this case, I would be selling USDC and buying SOL. And they'll charge you a fee for it. Usually it's a lower fee than like doing business on a centralized exchange would be, using a decentralized exchange like Jupiter. You can also do limit orders, which is where you set a price at which you want to buy SOL. For example, you can buy SOL when the price goes down 10% from where it currently is. And this is how much you want to buy. It says you're selling USDC to buy SOL, but effectively you're paying in this currency and you're getting this. You can do that and the order will execute automatically. You can also choose to do dollar cost averaging here, recurring buys. But there's even more that you can do on Jupiter. You can go to their perps, their lend page. You can track your portfolio. We're going to go to lend because that's probably what your friend was talking about. Earn interest on your crypto. Beautiful. Passively get yield using Jupiter's lend earning vaults. And here's the assets they make it possible for you to lend. USDC, you get a 6% APY. Now here's something worth knowing is you need to look at how the yield is made. It looks like in this case, 3.38% of it comes from lenders directly and 2.75% comes from USDC rewards. I'd want to look more into that, how it works. We'd have to look at their docs. Assets deposited in Earn cannot be used as collateral to borrow against. In some places where you might lend, you can also use the assets you're lending as collateral to borrow more. For example, folks might lend USDC and then borrow USDC and then lend more USDC that they've borrowed and just kind of max this out. So instead of lending maybe $100 that they brought to the platform, they lent, borrowed, lent, borrowed, lent, borrowed, and now they're playing with $300 and they've got a higher APY or something like that. Even when they're paying interest, often there's an opportunity to arbitrage this. If I go to borrow, let's see, for example, if I want to borrow USDC, I supply Sol, borrow USDC. Yeah, the borrow APY is 4.9%. So conceivably, I could put some Sol up, borrow USDC, and then take the USDC I borrowed into the Earn and earn an arbitraged APY. 6.13 is higher than 4.19. But 2% is not much to, take out a loan and arbitrage for and do that kind of thing. DL wants to know, is it expensive to put a coin on Jupiter? No. The second a token launches on Solana, you can trade for it on Jupiter. You have to create a liquidity pool for it. And that would probably require at least 3 Solana tokens, I would say. Any less than that, and a bot would gobble it up in about 15 minutes. DL, we talk a lot whenever you pop into the stream, and I'm always saying, you should send us a message, get in the community, get on a call. I can walk you through how to do this. I know you've been asking the same question for a long time, and it's the kind of thing that honestly would take a minute to show you, but then you would grasp and you could fly, my friend. I would love to help you with it. Call me. Call me. And for anyone asking about lending or borrowing on Jupiter's platform, what I would encourage you to do before you lend or borrow there, before you lend or borrow anywhere, what I would encourage you to do is to go over to our always favorite, not sponsored, but it could be website. I'm talking about DeFiLlama.com. So my friend, let me know if you're interested in staking on Jupiter. I think this was Jesus is Lord 777, but I might be wrong. Let me know if you have seen DeFiLlama. Okay? Let's talk about it. DeFiLlama is a much talked about, but still underused diamond in the rough. This is a website that will let you look up lots of information related to DeFi. I'm giving them a ding because I love what they do. We've done other tutorials of DeFiLlama on the show, but it's never a dull moment for this. When you get to DeFiLlama, what you will do is you will look to the sidebar at the left. I recommend doing this on your web browser, like a computer, your very first time. This is not a website you connect your wallet to. This is just a website you learn from. So they have got on the left side of their website an old menu. If you click it open and you go to yields, let's just do overview. How about? It will take you to a searchable dashboard menu of different yield opportunities sorted by TVL. That's the total amount of money that's locked up into this particular yield opportunity or that one. You can see the biggest protocol. This is like just all protocols in the DeFi space, in the crypto space. The biggest protocols are all on the Ethereum network. We are looking for, I happen to know, something on the Solana network. So we're going to go to filter by chains. People in podcast land, I'm so sorry, but you're going to have to get a visual for this one if you want to know how DeFiLlama works. We are going to filter by chains, choose Solana, and we are going to sort by tokens. Let's say you want to lend your USDC, okay? But you're also open to, I don't know, well, let's just keep it simple. We'll do that for now, okay? USDC. it looks like naturally, again, it sorts these by TVL, but we want to see who's got the best APY. That stands for annual percentage yield, and that means the rate of return you get on your investment. If I put up $100 of USDC, I'm going to earn 3.53% on Camino, or $3.53 every year. That's what that means. But I don't want to settle for $3.53. I want more. So come on, baby. Work with me. Aha. Look at this. Now, here's something worth noting. DeFiLlama defaults to showing you pools that swap and provide liquidity for multiple assets. So here is a pool that has 3 assets in it. So if you want to earn this saucy 9,499% rate, you've got to have Dude tokens and USDC tokens. Who knows what Dude tokens are? This pool only has a TVL of $11,000. So frankly, that's a very small number. This is probably a very new token. Advanced DeFi users watch for new pools to be created. And because those pools need liquidity so badly, that's why they have such a high APY. The money for this comes from people who are paying fees to swap one of these tokens for one of the other. In this case, they're swapping Dude for USDC or USDC for Dude. It's possible if this token is new and in demand that there are a lot of swaps, and the liquidity in this pool is very active. By which I mean, imagine a pool of water with 11,613 droplets, and each droplet represents $1 of TVL in this pool. And people are dipping their cups in and out of this pool all the time. Like, there are a ton of people relative to the size of this pool standing at this pool who want to fill up their cup or dump their cup out. Okay. So the odds that each water droplet is getting used a ton. And that's what's generating this APY. You are parking dollars here, or Dude tokens and dollars here, so that people can dump or take water out, and they pay a fee for that, and that fee generates this APY. The more active a pool is compared to how much liquidity there is, the higher the APY will be, okay? Now, you might think, I'm going to sell my house and put it all in this pool, and by tomorrow I'll be a millionaire, right? Well, here's what happens. If you put in $250,000 and all of a sudden the TVL goes up and you own 97% of this pool, then people are going to start to arbitrage against the value of your holdings. This is not a token that people like have loved and known and trusted, and there will always be a demand for. This is a flash in the pan thing. And you might find that pretty quickly the price of Dude starts going down. So your assets in the pool start to diminish. And what was $250,000 now becomes $125,000 as Dude goes to zero. And then when you try to withdraw the USDC, because a pool needs to stay balanced, there's no Dude on the other side that's valuable enough to sell to cover your cost. So your money is stuck in there forever. You basically become the water against which everybody else dips their cup. And then when it's time for you to move your water out of the pool, because there has to be something left in the pool, you can't take it out. Okay, I recommend, instead of chasing super high APYs, if you're looking to start lending your USDC on Jupiter or anywhere else, you look for something I would call reasonable. I would really look for no higher than 20%, because anything else is probably temporary or too good to be true. Now, here's the great thing about DeFiLlama. By Dan said, come on, Dude, don't hate. Sorry, I'm sure Dude is a great token. The great thing about DeFiLlama is that not only does it show us the different assets, where they are being hosted, the network they live on, their TVL, their APY, it also shows us what their yield has been like in the last 30 days. So you can see if this is just a flash in the pan rate or if it's a pretty constant rate. Now, another thing that I'm going to do before we go through this, we're comparing this against 6% on Jupiter, by the way. Is I said tokens USDC, but I want to make sure I say token USDC only. Let me see, attributes, single exposure. This is when I want to click. We are looking at a lot of pools right now that expose us to multiple tokens. We really just want to keep this simple and go single exposure. And this will make it so that we are only now looking at pools that require USDC. They don't require USDC in Dude. They don't require USDC in Aster or anything, okay? Now we're going to sort these pools by APY. Okay, and look at this. We've got a couple of strong contenders here. We've got USDC on Francium, which is, personally, it's a project I've never heard about. But that doesn't mean it's not good. They've got $2.4 million locked up. That's not bad, especially if you only want to deposit a couple thousand. Remember, you just don't want to make it so that you're stuck with most of the pool. And personally, I wouldn't want to have more than 3% of a pool's total value. Anything more than that, and I would feel really nervous, okay? And it looks like over time, the APY here has been pretty solid. So, oh, and here's another thing. For the folks in podcast land, there's a cute little indicator on DeFiLlama that looks like a person parachuting next to like where you lend this token. Next to Francium, I see this. And this logo appears several times on this page, and it indicates on DeFiLlama that you would be using a project that has no token, and therefore which might airdrop one to depositors in the future. Something that's helpful to know is that a lot of DeFi protocols issue tokens. And a lot of them airdrop those tokens to people who lend or stake or borrow or trade assets on their platforms, okay? So one way to get free money is by using these crypto protocols. Now, that's not a reason to use a risky crypto protocol, and it's not a guarantee that you'll get something that's valuable, but it's just another helpful indicator. So let's say I like this. This pool checks all my boxes, and I think I'm gonna put some of my money on Jupiter because I saw how to use that. Evan showed me how, but I'm also gonna make it my homework to learn about this Francium thing. I click into this pool. All those links are blue, clickable, and it tells me a little more about the pool. Now, this is kind of making me a little concerned. I noticed that since the start of 2024, the APY on this pool has been totally steady. And the total value locked in this pool has also been totally steady. Like that's, I don't know, that's just anomalistic, especially considering on the left side of the chart, the APY and total supply, they're like up and down and up and down and up and down and up and down, and then it just becomes a flat line. So, and it says our algorithm predicts the current APY of 13% to fall below 10% within the next 4 weeks. Our confidence is high. It doesn't have a risk rating by their partner Exponential Phi. So I'd really want to know more about this. It says they have audits, but let's look at their website. We're going to francium.io. Like I said, I've never been here before, never seen this before. Now this is interesting. Maybe DeFiLlama stopped supporting this protocol, and the reason it's flat on their website is because they are no longer hosting a feed for this pool, because here's their USDC lending pool, and look at what their APY is. 2.29%. I think this is probably the same pool, because even though the total supply is different, at 3.34 million, it was showing us on DeFiLlama that it was like 2.5 million. That makes me think it's close enough that if they did in fact stop supporting data for this pool in July, excuse me, not July, even January, that it could have grown to 3.5 million or whatever until then. So, you know, this is a dud. So I'd go back to DeFiLlama and I'd look for a different pool. Here's one on Wasabi that's offering 12%. And it's got a TVL of 615,000. Also, not bad if I want to stake a couple $1,000s. And I would just go through this again and again until I got to the website with a token that, you know, I believed in, with a pool that looked good, whose yield seemed appropriate over time. And then I would connect my wallet to that website and I would indicate how much money I wanted to put in that pool. I would do that by, there's a button here that says connect to Solana wallet. I would connect my wallet, and this little indicator would probably change to how much do you want to deposit is what it would say. You know, and look, oh, look at this. They've got all their pools right here. Check this out. So this is a pool that's currently earning 15% APY on USDC on base. So I'd have to swap my tokens over to the base network. For people who don't know, who are new, if I'm moving too fast, let me know. But I just want you to see that crypto tokens can live on different networks. And this is the USDC tokens logo. This indicates that it's on the base network. This is the base network's logo. IsQ asks, is that still DeFiLlama? No, IsQ. What we did is we went from DeFiLlama. First we were looking at a list of pools. I'll show it again. I'll show the whole process one more time from the start. If you go to just DeFiLlama.com from the home screen, on the left-hand side, you click Old Menu. I think the old menu is easier to use. You click Yields, Overview. On the dashboard that appears, you're going to select for the tokens that you want to get yield on. I'm going to type in USDC. I'm going to toggle it on so that now it's only showing me USDC. I'm going to say I want to do this on the Solana network. So I'm going to clear. I went to the network box, right? Chains, it says. And I'm going to toggle Solana on. And I'm going to go to category. Oh, sorry. Attributes. Somebody. Losing points over here. Attributes. And I'm going to choose single exposure. Baffled Me asks, what are we doing here? We are learning how to use DeFiLlama.com to find yield farming opportunities, ways to earn passive income on your crypto, and how to search for them. So you don't just have to listen to your one friend who says, stake your USDC here, lend your Camino there. You can find the best opportunity for you. Now that I've sorted by USDC, single pools only on the Solana network, I went over to the APY column and sorted by APY by clicking on it. And a reminder, I'm doing this on desktop. It'll be easiest to follow my instructions on a desktop, though you can use this website for mobile. We looked at the first two pools. We saw that the pool on Francium probably was not actually being supported by DeFiLlama's API anymore because the information didn't match. So we went to this pool here from Wasabi. And what I did was I scrolled over to USDC and I just clicked it. And when I clicked it, it took me to the dashboard on DeFiLlama for this particular pool. There's a lot of information about this pool here, but I went right to the bottom where they have a little button. Oh, come on, buddy. It's not going to let me do this. It's zooming my charts. Hang on. At the bottom, they have this little button that'll take you to their website. I clicked this, and that took me to Wasabi. And this is the dashboard that we were on where I was showing you connect your wallet, and we saw that they have APYs from 10% to 15% on USDC. Now notice, 10% is USDC on the Solana network. 15% is USDC on the base network. Baffled Me. You are correct. This is how to gain 15% on USDC a year. It is better than banks. Most crypto is better than banks in terms of the rate you can get, in terms of the things you can do with your assets. The trade-off, of course, is that it can be a little more difficult to use. It's a new skill set, that's all. And you can do it, but I recommend you take this one step at a time. Because it can be a little risky. If you click the wrong button, if you do the wrong thing, be out of luck, Chuck. So you want to learn how to do this kind of thing with a couple dollars first. When you connect your wallet, you indicate how much you want to deposit, and then this will change into a dashboard that will show you your active assets, which pools they are deployed in, and will give you the option to withdraw them. You can withdraw them anytime. So, very good question. Thank you very much. We got time for just a couple more. And then we got to ride our dogs and ponies into the sunset for today. Is it guaranteed? I assume you mean the yield. No, the yield changes over time. Some DeFi protocols will guarantee a yield, and many of them will give you good yield over time. For example, we've talked a lot on this show about DeFi Carrot. Bearded gave us the update today that DeFi Carrot is currently earning at 8%. We've kind of checked on it a lot. Bearded has been the farmer to go out and lick his finger and put it in the air to check the wind. That's why we call it yield farming, because it's kind of like managing a farm. actively managing crops. You check the weather. Is it going to rain today? Are my plants growing as I expect them to? And then you adjust like a farmer would. DeFi Carrot has gone between, what have we seen as the low, Bearded? Maybe 6% to a high of like 15%. And it averages out to be probably about a 10% return a year. So that's something you want to check before you dive in. And again, that's something that you can get help with by joining the community over at rumshq.com. Okay, community.rumshq.com. Or if you're watching me somewhere like Facebook or TikTok live, then you can tap into my profile and the link in our bio will take you to the main website, or maybe even, I think I've got it set up just to go right to the community. Our website is rumshq.com. And then the community website is community.rumshq.com. That's where I recommend you go. It's totally free to join. The only thing missing is you. Can you show how to complete the process of adding the USDC to Wasabi? No, I cannot at this time because I don't have any of my teaching wallets connected. A good thing to do is, if you're somebody like me who's on the internet a lot, you should have many different crypto wallets. I use social wallets to put walking around money in, walking around tokens in, so that I can do things like teach a class or a lesson. That's a good topic for a video. It's not a difficult thing if you've connected your wallet to other protocols before. And I also don't know that I have the tokens to do this. I'm just responding to a question on the fly. I would have to prep for this and film a separate video to get the tokens in my wallet to do it. But I have many videos wherever you're watching me on the process of connecting a wallet to a website, swapping tokens of one kind for tokens of another kind, depositing tokens to earn interest on them. And that is absolutely the kind of thing you should get connected to the community for, because you can talk to lots of people, not just me, who have done that kind of thing and can help you build confidence with step-by-steps to do it. Lots of good questions asking, what is the best crypto wallet and where do you keep your crypto to protect it? Something I want to emphasize is that the only place your crypto lives is in the record of different computers that maintain the blockchain networks you use, in the ones and zeros. And the thing that makes it secure is that it's not just one computer. It's not just one hard drive that's keeping this record, not just one company maintaining these servers. A lot of these networks are, we say, decentralized. And that means that anybody with a machine can join their computer to this network and then start keeping a record of it. So it's like if we had bank vaults that could be made more secure by every user of the bank, where the money physically doesn't exist and where the vaults all talk to each other. So if anybody was to break in and try and change the digital information, it wouldn't just be like one security guard trying to watch it. It would be 10,000 security guards. And if one of them was compromised, every one of them would know. So a crypto wallet is not a place where your crypto is stored. It is a device or a website or an app that can generate and securely store a piece of information called a private key. This is a string of numbers and letters that different blockchain networks issue to people who use them to distinguish them as unique. It's like a username, except it's a little more anonymized and it's randomly generated. Your crypto wallet will either have the software, or it'll have like a piece of hardware in it that is programmed to generate this thing. Any crypto wallet is only as secure as you make it, and all crypto wallets from legitimate companies are fine to use. But the wallet that's best for you will depend on a couple of things, okay? First, the first check is it's from a legitimate company. The second thing is, does this wallet support the networks and tokens you want to use? If you're a new crypto user, you should just sign up for a wallet and try it, even if you don't have tokens yet, because it'll make a lot of those decisions for you about what tokens you can get. If you're an experienced crypto user, maybe an investor, and you've got some tokens that really are significant to you, then you need to make sure that before you get another wallet, it supports the networks and tokens you want to use. You'd go to Google, you'd search for those wallets, and one by one, you'd go to their website. You'd go to Arculus.com, you'd go to Ledger.com, to MetaMask.com, to TrustWallet.com, and you would just look for their documents, or you would search in the bar at the top, supported tokens, supported networks, or you'd ask your favorite LLM like ChatGPT. You'd say, hey, Does Arculus wallet support XRP tokens? What networks does it support them on? And it will tell you. And it'll probably give you some links to verify. So once you get a wallet from a legitimate company that supports the networks and tokens you want to use, then the final step is you got to see, is this wallet easy for you to use consistently well? The example I like to use is I use a Ledger device and an Arculus device for cold storage, okay? They're two very different devices for people in podcast land. My Ledger looks a little bit like a USB thumb drive, and it's got a very small little screen on it and two buttons that are about as big as my fingertip. The Arculus looks like a credit card. When I want to use the Ledger, first of all, I got to charge it. I got to press the two buttons to turn it on, and then the display on this screen is very, very tiny. I click left and right with these buttons, and I press both buttons to confirm. I got to put in a PIN. I got to navigate this device with just two buttons, all the menus it has. It can be painful. And if you're somebody who maybe has bad eyesight or your hands have tremors, this would not be a good device for you. It's a secure device. You can trust it. They have lots of different solutions. They're, very well respected, but the user experience may not be ideal for some people. This reads transaction data with an NFC chip. Excuse me. It communicates and verifies my private key to sign transactions with an NFC chip. It comes with a companion app that I can use to set up transactions. And so if you're somebody who has a hard time with scanning NFC chips from your phone, this might not be the best wallet for you. We are, I do want to tell you, partnered by... dropping stuff, partnered with Arculus. The show is sponsored by them. And I do think we do that because we think it's a fantastic wallet. I think it's the easiest cold storage wallet to use. They support a lot of networks and tokens, but this is not going to be the best wallet for you if your phone doesn't work well with an NFC reader, or, you can't get it to scan consistently, or it doesn't support the tokens you want to use. And they support most major tokens and networks, and they're adding more all the time. Solom asked a really good question, and we'll make this the final question for today. After I tell you, thank you, Apple user. If you do, look at me, man, I'm flubbing the commercial. If you do want to get an Arculus wallet, I will tell you this, we can get you a discount. Oh, somebody saved me from myself. If you go to Arculus's website, getarculus.com, and you buy an Arculus, you can use the code RUMS10 to get 10% off your purchase. And if you go to the TikTok shop or their Instagram profile or their Facebook profile, their handles are all "This is Arculus," and you can also get a discount when you buy it there. The discount code is, somebody help me, it's ARCURUMS10. Oh, that's TikTok only. If you're buying it on the TikTok shop, ARC ARCU RUMS RUMS 10. Somebody write that in the comments. We might need to pin it. Thank you very much. Thank you, Tori, for pinning that comment. Okay, the final question comes from Solom. Friend of the show, Chief Gift Officer, my friend, always good to talk with you, who asked about why he can't see what network a token lives on in Coinbase. The short answer, dude, it's a short answer. It's just because on Coinbase, your tokens don't live on a network. The way Coinbase does it is not self-custody. When your tokens are in a self-custody wallet, they have to be assigned to a network. You own them and they are on this or that network. On Coinbase, you have a username and a password, and you own a claim to those tokens. It's like how you own stocks at a broker website. You own a claim to it. The broker holds it for you. Coinbase holds it for you. And they've got those tokens, like USDC. They got USDC on every network, man. So it doesn't matter which network it's on because you can't use it anywhere except on their platform. When you go to withdraw it or send it to another wallet, you will encounter a notification that says, which network do you want to send this on? At that time, you can specify. Coinbase has got those piles of tokens. You can say, I'm sending USDC on the Solana network. You need to check the receiving address. If I was going to do one of these lending pools on this this new website we were checking out over here, what the heck was it? It was Wasabi. And I wanted to withdraw USDC on Base, I would have to make sure I was receiving it at a wallet that had a Base network address. And then I would tell Coinbase, send it to the Base network at this address. That's what it's for. Similarly, if you're receiving tokens to Coinbase, it might say, hey, which network are you sending us these tokens on? If I want to deposit my tokens in Wasabi on the Base network, and then I withdraw them and want to send them back to Coinbase, maybe I'm taking profits and I want to withdraw cash to my bank that's connected to Coinbase, then I would specify when I went to receive the assets at Coinbase that I'm receiving assets on the Base network. And that way it will know to look for them. Coinbase is a lot like an apartment complex. Wallets are more like houses, like a house with an address, or an email account with an address. And exchanges are like apartment complexes with one big address and then many apartment numbers. So when you send to Coinbase, it's not enough to send it to 123 Coinbase Lane. You've got to send it to 123 Coinbase Lane, my apartment. This might come in the form of a memo, any number of ways, talking. It's Monday. Do you trust Coinbase? No, but I use them. And I will say, as far as crypto native companies who are like neobanks go, Coinbase is great. They do a lot for our industry. I don't really trust any corporation, anybody with power. But I like a lot of them. I know friends who work there, and I would have lunch with them. I would consider letting them sponsor the show, but I would reserve the right to be, my frame of reference is critical, which does not mean negative. It means concerned about power. Somebody who is concerned about the influence that power has on the world, on our social relationships, on the resources we all depend on and share. It's good to be critical of power because power can be used against us. Coinbase has a lot of power. So we appreciate them, but we also want to hold them accountable and make sure that they do what they say they're going to do. Coinbase is great, though. They have a lot of great products and services, and I recommend Coinbase's platform as a first stop for people who want to explore crypto, who want to create an account, buy or sell, and then start sending crypto assets to a self-custody wallet. I recommend their products. Yes, they would act, Tori says, in their best interest, and lots of folks say it's a good place to start. I think many crypto native exchanges like that, Coinbase, Kraken, Binance, are great places to start. And then you learn more and you can make more informed decisions about the best place for you to use, to store, to invest in crypto. Sound good? Excellent. Thank you very much, my friends, for being the best part of what we do. It's that time. I got to ride my dogs and ponies off into the sunset. I'm about to go meet with Tori and teach a TikTok workshop. We're going to be back with more Rise Up tomorrow. Same time, same place. And one more time, I'll tell you, jump into the community at community.rumshq.com. We have forums. We have chats. We have links to classes and coaching. If you want to get time one-on-one with me, with Alex, with Will, to look over your portfolio, just to get some feedback, to go through a tutorial like this. Robert, I saw your comment on Facebook. You need some help with a hot wallet. The community is the place to get connected to that help. It is community.rumshq.com. The only thing missing is you. My friends, wherever you are, whenever you listen, I hope it's a good now. And that until next time, you stay safe, be well, everybody. Rise up.